Hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, Dre. Now, we'll talk about this bullshit that happened a couple days ago in Kentucky at the Jefferson Mall. The people were waiting in line for checkout, and this one racist-ass white woman went on a racist tirade, because there were two Hispanic women, one of which had stepped out of line and stepped back in the line, having gone to get some more merchandise. So the video you see, the white woman is going off, telling the Hispanic women to go back the fuck to where they came from. Goes on to talk about how they need to speak English. This is America. And starts to go on to talk about how the taxpayers probably paid for the merchandise that they have, and saying that they're on welfare and such. Listen, this is a message to white people. And whether you consider yourself in this category as a white person, because if you know that you're not that kind of person, then perhaps this comment isn't for you. But white people, stop. First and foremost, when you're quick to tell people to go back to where they came from, but do you know where you come from? Because when I look at the message board, a lot of white people get defensive when they say, well, how do you know the white woman came from Europe? You know, she was probably born here. Well, how the fuck do you know that the Hispanic woman wasn't born here? You know, white people are quick to tell black people to go back to Africa, but you motherfuckers brought us over here. And now that you can't control us, when you can't have your way, your first impulse is to say, go back to Africa. Or tell someone that's Hispanic to go back to Mexico. That's typical when you're a blatant racist and you're an idiot at that. Because I've seen videos, especially at Trump rallies, where they could be from Central or South America, and all of a sudden you have Joe Bob pulling up in his truck, or just being a complete jackass, telling this person to go back to Mexico when they probably hail from Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic and such. So with this, we already know what's going to happen, because JCPenney said that they're going to find out the identity of this person and they're going to ban her for life. This old bitch, she's probably on her last leg, so she probably won't even care. But I'm almost certain this is what's going to happen. And mark my words, because this is probably what's going to happen. They're going to find this white woman, and she's going to come up with some sob story about how she's been getting death threats because her face is all over the news. So the people closest to her, and the people who know her that don't necessarily associate with her, but know of her existence, know where she lives, the news is going to catch up to her. She's going to talk about how she's had to go into hiding because she's fearful of her life, and she wants to apologize for the hurtful things that she says. Listen, fuck you. I want to say this to anyone that's caught on video, because a lot of people are very dismissive about racism and the fact that it exists, but they want to say that no, this isn't racism. And really, the only people that say that are white people, because white privilege has them so blinded and so ignorant that they ignore the fact. Now, for the record, there are a lot of white people that saw this video and were outraged by her behavior. And I can understand, and they should be, because white people as a whole, you take this as an L. The same as when I had these debates with privileged ass white people, and the first thing they want to talk about is crime and statistics of prison and such, and the black community, and they expect me to take a L when it comes to the crime rate in Chicago or Detroit. But racism, it hasn't gone away. This isn't something that just started happening, and the casual idiot will say, well, Obama started this. These are white people that have been living under a fucking rock, because you can look at the history of the United States, and racism has always existed in the 300 years of existence, 300 plus years that this country has been founded. This country was founded on racism. The moment they decided to bring blacks over as slaves, that's how white people refuse to acknowledge this. But again, this woman, this fat ass white woman, all that's going to happen is she's going to have an interview with the news, and she's going to say, well, I'm sorry, or she's going to give some written statement, and she's going to talk about how she's fearful of her life. And the bitch should be. She should receive death threats. She should fear for her life, because she needs to understand that this isn't the motherfucking 60s. And I've said this before in several of my videos. You can't just come out of pocket and say the shit that you do and not expect the repercussions to come back at you. If this woman works, I hope this gets back to her employers, and I hope this hurts her financially. I hope this ruins her life, because the pain that she's caused with these women, and they showed a lot of class by really not saying much to her, but for her own ignorance, she deserves to suffer, and suffer tremendously. And I'm hopeful that I get the opportunity to see the story in the news to where she's crying about the fact that she can't go anywhere because she's afraid that someone's going to harm her. Do I wish someone would harm her? No, not really. But I want her to understand that fear. I want her to be afraid to look over her shoulders, because the fear of thinking that someone is going to creep up on her ass. I want her to understand that fear and discomfort, because white people like her, they set an example of what makes this country not so great. So I just wanted to share my thoughts on this video, because this bitch deserves everything that's coming to her, and I hope it's all negative. Anyway, if you like this video, I hope that you like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook. Peace.